First, I just want to clear the air, just show that, no matter what happens, like, it's all, like, just completely cordial. And I wanted to,
Okay.
in case I said anything, like, a meme, any, like, previous, like, poster
I don't know. I
period,
don't
then,
know
like,
anything about you, buddy. You just keep going.
oh,
Just go
okay.
ahead. I don't know a damn thing about
Anyway,
you.
I just wanted to, I saw your latest video, just wanted to know if,
Okay.
uh, I just felt like it wasn't good to have a argument without having someone to be there to defend it. So I
Okay.
just
Well,
wanted
I
to go
mean,
over each
when
individual point.
okay, well, when you stream, you're just going over things that are presented on the pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the information presented to me. So the way I responded is with the information presented to me. Did I say anything inaccurate with the information presented to me?
Well, that's what I'm here for. It's a debatable
Well, I mean,
kind of
if
thing.
you're here to clarify information, you can go ahead. But
Mm-hmm.
with the information presented to me, is what I said wrong?
Again, it is a debate, like because debating in like versus debating battleboarding in itself is a subjective topic. For example,
That's not what I
you
asked
may
you, man.
think
I
that
didn't ask you that. I didn't. Chat, did I ask him that? I didn't ask him that. I said, is with the information I presented, is something I said wrong?
see the thing is there is no. Okay, you want a yes or no answer. I understand.
Yeah, I do.
I will say I will say that I do believe that some of it is incorrect.
Okay, what's not correct?
All right. I wanted to discuss the main thing that was the thumbnail of your video, the King Piccolo and Roshi thing.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about King Piccolo. I can see arguments for King Piccolo being city level ish. But that's only if you were to scale Roshi above King Piccolo. Do you think Roshi's stronger than King Piccolo?
I do not. King
Okay.
Piccolo killed him, albeit it was through the Makuba,
Okay.
which was a sacrificial thing.
Okay.
But if he were stronger,
So if
he
you
should.
think Roshi's stronger than King Piccolo, then sure, maybe you can downplay King Piccolo to like city level or some bullshit. But otherwise, like, it's yeah, I would say they're both moon level.
All right.
Or if greater. So.
I wanted to. I had some problems with that because I am a fan of it is an outlier because of the difference between Dragon Ball Classic and Dragon Ball Z. I know that the Japanese have it not as Z and have it within the same series.
Well, can I
I'm
ask
just
you?
saying
I
that.
want to ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot, you can shoot.
So Buff Roshi does two things. What does Buff Roshi do? What are the two things Buff Roshi does?
I know there's the. Oh right, it's the moon bus and then it's the castle.
Right, he blows up a mountain and he blows up a moon. So Roshi blows up a mountain at full power, and then he trains more, and then he goes full power again and he blows up a moon. That's the only two things Roshi ever does at full power. So Roshi blows up a mountain, and then when he trains more at full power, he can blow up a moon. So what's the outlier for Master Roshi?
Well, again, it would have to relate back to King Piccolo. Now, if he had
all he did was two things. Roshi only did two things. So you agree for
that's the
Roshi?
thing, though.
You agree for Roshi in particular? It's not an outlier, but his scaling can make it an outlier. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. Yes, the scaling would make it an outlier.
Okay, sure. So why is his scaling making an outlier?
Because it takes another 10 years for a similar event to happen. By someone who, in a much previous state, could have actually done a lot more to him than what Roshi.
How is it 10 years?
The gap between the 21st Budokai. When was when Goku fought Jackie Chan? Was it the 21st Budokai?
He was about 13.
Yes, and when Piccolo blew up the moon, Goku was approximately 21, 23.
Yeah, but you know Goku stated a Moonbuster in Daizenshu, right?
Yes, but again, that's a data book entry,
Wait,
which I'm completely fine with. I'm completely fine with data books. I'm just saying
how is it an outlier? What's wrong with that?
Because data book entries can be hyperbolic. They're not always. I will completely give Daizenshu a whole lot of credit.
So how is Goku's entry hyperbolic?
Because saying you can do something without actually backing it up. Now again,
he's stronger than Roshi, who blew up a moon, so he can just shatter the moon. So I mean, I don't see why it's hyperbolic. And
because
then what?
everyone
And the next arc, they just blow up the moon too. So I mean,
the next arc is a 10-year,
that's
not
not.
10
It's
year,
not 10
a
years.
5-ish year time skip.
Yeah, but Goku
It's a
doesn't.
5-year.
Goku doesn't do any notable training in that 5 years. Do you know the power difference between Goku in the 23rd and the 5-year gap?
I do not know the difference in the power level.
He
now.
goes from a power level of 910 to 924.
Understandable.
So I mean,
The
I
thing
don't
is,
see
power
how
levels
it's...
aren't exactly the most linear thing.
Hold on. Let me mute Saba. Wait, who's making that noise? Hold on. I gotta mute all the people making noises. I'm sorry.
There's no problem.
Okay. So when you say power levels aren't the most linear thing, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the fact that by all logic, for example, let's skip all the way to Super. Beerus, by all means, no, let's not even go Beerus. Golden Frieza has a quantified power level of what was it, a quintillion? Even though if it was linear,
that
or
was
even
fake. That was fake. Come on, dude. that was a VA statement. That wasn't real. If the only canon statement we have of Frieza's power is that he gets infinitely stronger. So.
Well, then let's use the Goku's a 6, Beerus is a 10, Wiz is a 15 one.
No, well, that's not power levels either. So
hold on. You want an example? Using comparisons in general.
You want an example of power levels, bro? So we go from 5 to 180 is moon busting. However, after moon busting, they become linear. Do you know why they become linear?
Please tell me why they become linear.
Because Kaioken is directly stated to be a 2 times increase, and it exactly doubles his power level. So it becomes.
That does bring me into something. I want to talk about Kaioken. Okay. I do agree that Kaioken 2 is linear, and the thing is, 20 times gap is a lot. If you can match someone without it, and then you're matching them with it, then someone should have been dead.
I don't know. I don't even know where you're going with that. But what I'm saying is that power levels become linear. Okay, so after a certain point, they stop becoming exponential. So. It's around Raditz that they stop becoming exponential. And we know that because Raditz struggles with power levels that are hundreds lower than his. So they're more linear by the time Raditz shows up.
Again, I wouldn't exactly. For example, Raditz is a moon buster. Vegeta is a planet buster.
Well, Raditz might be moon level as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I said. Raditz is moon.
Well, I meant planet level. But.
Okay, but
it's debatable. So.
It is debatable because of how. At best he's small planet. I wouldn't give him full planet. I'd give him small at best.
It's not important. Just go ahead. Sorry.
The point I was trying to make is, assuming Raditz is moon, or several times, even giving him the benefit of the doubt of the King Piccolo, and saying that Roshi, King Piccolo,
sure,
and saying that he's just well above moon. The gap between Raditz and Vegeta is what was it, 15 times?
It's like a little bit over 10 times.
All right, but the difference between 12 small planet, and Vegeta, the minimum small planet and Vegeta is greater than approximately 10 times.
It's 12 times, but I mean that would just mean that Raditz is stronger than you think. That's all. That's the only argument. So. Yeah.
All right. I'm okay. Just can I shoot this in the dark? It's I'm not being a burden to you by simply having right?
No.
Pardon?
No, just ignore. Okay. Just ignore. There's gonna be a lot of random people joining, and they're just gonna say dumb shit. So just ignore them.
Okay. All right. I'm just glad this conversation is able to go cordially.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the subject at hand. The linear power levels.
Yeah.
Are there any confirmed power levels in Super?
No, the power levels in Super are above infinite, so. Yeah, everything past Frieza is an infinite power level, so.
I mean, given power levels don't matter by that point, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, to be honest, anything past Cell is pretty dumb. I think even Toriyama's by Cell, they just get so ridiculous that you're just never gonna find the numbers. So don't worry about it.
I will 100% agree with you there.
Yeah, that's what he said. So.
Okay. But even using Cell, what's his number compared to Frieza's?
We don't know.
We don't?
No, we don't.
Oh, dang, that I was really going to be like.
Let's get a little bit back on track. Okay, so when you say something is an outlier, okay, I want you to imagine something in Dragon Ball. Did you know that if you use the outlier logic, that everyone in Dragon Ball is like building level?
I'm aware, and
it's not just
it's not would be building level.
It's not just a Roshi Kingpin. It's everyone is like building level with outliers.
No, I get it. Everyone in fiction, Superman,
like everyone,
Saint Seiya,
that's why
Kratos.
That's why when people hear the outlier argument, they're just kind of laugh because it's like, well, I mean, anything can be considered like an outlier. I mean, like, dude, the calc for Roshi being city level is an outlier, you know, like shit like that. So it's like. So it's like the whole outlier argument to say someone isn't a certain level in fiction doesn't work, especially in Dragon Ball, because the problem with Dragon Ball is that we know that characters, once they reach certain levels of power, they get ki control. And Toriyama literally says the reason that everything doesn't explode whenever they do something is because they have certain levels of ki control. So the
problem is, why does it matter for characters like Frieza, who will destroy the planet they're on, or Cell, who wants to?
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. Because Frieza is actually stated to hold back on the planet so he doesn't destroy it, even versus Super Saiyan Goku. Even versus Super Saiyan Goku. When he throws a death ball at the planet, he's like, I didn't put enough power behind it. Because he was scared. He was scared of it exploding. And Frieza is a hidden character where he himself is curious if he truly is the strongest in the universe. Also, Cell did not want to destroy Earth until the very end when Gohan appeared, which is why he was like, Goku, don't do it! And Goku fucking instant transmission and blew him in half, you know? Like, that was, and, you know, when Vegeta fights Android 18, he's like, you know, if I really shot that all out, the planet would be gone, you know? So, like, shit like that, it's just ki control. So outliers in Dragon Ball are generally where they are, you know? It can't be, like, an outlier isn't, it doesn't disregard the scaling of the character. It just says that's where they are, and Toriyama can't have everything exploding all the time, or else the story is a mess. So, like, that's generally why
I get it. It's why Superman doesn't do it. It's why Kirby doesn't do it. It's
I'm glad you understand that. It's not just a Roshi It's everything. Every fucking fiction has to do that, or else the story is just incohesive. It's dumb. Like, so. That's why whenever we're like, hey, well, in the guide it said that, because they're using the guide because Toriyama's like, well, I can't have them blow up half the fucking planet right now, so here's the Daizenshu, like, confirming it's still a thing. Or, you know, he's like, well, Roshi, well, he's like, oh, well, Kami made the moon. Or, you know, in the next arc, they're like, oh, be gone. You know, he stops the Saiyans from, you know, doing it. And then after, you know, Piccolo blows up the moon, then they introduce the Planet Busters. And then Frieza's, you know, arguably star level. And they introduce, you know, Solar System Busters.
You know the password to your email account?
They keep going up and up. They keep going up and up. Because Toriyama doesn't know how to, he even says this in an interview, he doesn't know how to properly display a character getting stronger all the time. It's like difficult. Yeah.
All right. So can I go to a small segue for a second, because this is a question I wanted to address with with any like notable versus debater. It has to do with power and its and how we view it compared to like in its relation to quality to an extent. For example, Dragon Ball being the main example, there are a metric ton of people who would be like, oh, your character doesn't matter because Goku will kick his butt in a second. Or this character, you think that's strong? You think, I don't know, Tanjiro is strong? He would lose to Raditz, and like there's so many people who do that to make characters feel like lesser, and it kind of like sticks. Like when you're in the versus debating sphere for so long, you're like, oh, I can't look at this. I can't look at this building level character as impressive, because we all know there's the bigger fish known as Goku or Naruto or Ichigo or Superman or etc. Okay. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, you have to learn how to enjoy stories without looking at it for its power scaling. You know, I mean, that's just generally how it is, man. I mean, if a character is just judging the quality of a story based on its power scaling, I mean, they're probably not judging the story for what it really is anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about them to begin with. So, I mean, it's not really that important.
It's just, it's just when you're in the community for so long and you hear this so much, like, it kind of jades on you.
Yeah, I can understand. And honestly, that's a problem I have with Versus Wiki a lot of the time. It seems like in Versus Wiki, they sort of determine the value of stories by the scaling of the characters almost, right? So like, you know, you have it seems like everyone that wants to downplay the Naruto section is they have a Bleach Aizen profile picture. You know, everyone wants to downplay Bleach as a Naruto profile picture or something, you know? So it's like, you know, on Versus Week, you kind of have this, like, these bias wars. So whenever I see something like, oh, you know, Roshi City level, you know, whenever people see that, they're, you know, most people that know the site, they're just like, well, is this just another fucking fanboy war? Like, why did this one happen? You know, why are we at this part of the scaling for Dragon Ball today? What's the story this time? You know, we almost, no one ever really thinks like, oh wow, they must have a juicy new argument that just puts Roshi. We're just like, nope, it looks like there's some new bullshit war going on. What is it this time? Do they want Roshi to get beat up by Deku, or like what's the argument now? You know, like that's what it seems to come off as a lot of the time when people look at Versus Wiki, I feel. So
I understand, because I make like every other week you probably see me complaining about hacks and how much people love it, but I'm digressing at this point. First off, thanks for listening to my to that small segue.
Yep.
Because I really wanted to get that off my chest.
No problem.
All right. Okay, so what do you feel? How do you feel about not just Dragon Ball, but Outliers in general? Like, for example,
I don't
like without Outliers, like you'd have Pikachu scaling to Arceus because he stunned him.
Well, here's the problem, okay? It depends. For one, it depends on the series and what you're saying an outlier is, okay? Because like some shows, sure, an outlier might be a real thing. Maybe, you know, for instance, maybe a show has different writers. You know, they don't always have the same writer. It's not the same consistent dude. He's not writing a cohesive story. So maybe different writers, different stories. They have different interpretations of the story. So maybe then an outlier could be a thing. But the problem is that when you're in a debate with someone, an outlier is arguing that something must be a contradiction almost. Like, if that was the way, it's so outlandish compared to everything else that it can't possibly be the case. But in a debate, they'll be like, well, why is that a contradiction, right? Why can't this feat and the series coexist? So, for instance, if Roshi was a Moonbuster, would it contradict the rest of the show? And the answer is no. It wouldn't. If he was a Moonbuster, it would just be he just has insane key control. They just have insane key control, right? So it's not a contradiction. So when you say it can't be this way because it's an outlier, you have to grandstand, no, this is a contradiction. It cannot exist within the same story. It doesn't make any sense. But with Dragon Ball, that just isn't the case. So with Pokemon, you're like, well, Sam Cejudo made this episode, and he thinks Pikachu is, you know, wall level. And Sam Jr. made this episode, and he actually thinks all Pokemon are kind of like relative like they are in the games. You know, shit like that. So in that case, sure, an outlier makes sense. But with a story like Dragon Ball, which is surprisingly well thought out, if you actually get down to the nitty gritty.
Oh no, I'll give you that.
Akira
Toriyama, for someone who wrote by the seat of his pants, actually completely did a wonderful job, especially for beginning the whole run intro.
Saying that it has outliers and that it can't coexist with this feat, it just, everyone that sees that is like, huh? Like that. It just doesn't logically add up, if that makes sense. That's how normal people see it, you know? Like, so, and then I just wanted to explain, okay, it's not a contradiction, so therefore it can work, okay? It can be acceptable with Dragon Ball, it can work. Everything supports it. The guides support it. No one really rejects it. We know that lesser feats, you know, don't necessarily equate to how they're strong they are normally, or else, you know, like Superman and, you know, God Goku would be building level or something. And then we also know that Versus Wiki just sometimes tends to have fan wars, you know, and like we don't know how well we can truly are they actually being genuine and what they're arguing on the site. We don't know. Like, so that's a problem we all have.
You could technically make an argument that it depends on if you scale Red Ribbon Saga Goku to max power Roshi. Do you specifically?
No, the Goku that would scale to around Roshi would be more around like the beginning of maybe like the middle of the Piccolo arc would be more like Roshi level.
Which Piccolo arc?
The first one. If you think Piccolo is stronger than Roshi, because people like Karthu will argue that Roshi is the strongest in Dragon Ball, regardless of the statement. So some people literally think that Roshi is stronger than everyone in Dragon Ball. Some people think he's weaker than Piccolo. So if you think he's weaker than Piccolo, then it would be around mid King Piccolo arc. So
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to make the argument that the whole Muscle Tower sequence, when Goku actively wanted to destroy the tower, like went through. Mind you, he didn't know Ada at the time, so it's not like he would have been like, "I should save." Wait, wasn't there one of his friends kept up on the top or no? It's been it's been a long while since I've seen the Red Ribbon arc.
He was trying to beat Muscle Tower so they would stop messing with snow, and there's like a Dragon Ball or something like that. There's a lot of reasons for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I think I know what you're trying to say, but Roshi he never comments on Goku reaching his level of power until the Tien Shinhan fight. And we know in the actual guidebooks that actually do give us power levels, Roshi is stated to be, in base, let alone his buff form, is stated to be around 180, which is Goku and Tien. And then in his buff state, he might be stronger, but we know he's still weaker than King Piccolo, so he's anywhere between 180 and like 260. Okay, he's anywhere between there. So, yeah.
So would you say that Roshi, if he went all out, would have beaten Tien?
It's arguable. It's arguable, right? Like, we know that his base form is relative. Some people argue that the translation says the 180 is actually when he blew up the moon. I've seen some people argue that's the translation. But if you want to argue Buff Roshi's stronger and he can amp himself and fight Tien and like they were already equal in base form, then yeah, sure, he would win. So.
All right. Obviously, I would not say the same about Piccolo because it would, like, if he could have.
Well, he already stated he couldn't beat Piccolo, so I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he could have gone buff and won, he would have and not died.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
We can agree on that.
There was another topic that I've seen addressed in your comments.
Okay.
I'll move the Roshi thing to the side because it seems we've gotten all the bases out on that.
Okay.
And there was Xeno Goku. Now, I will say right off the bat that I don't know a whole.
Look,
compared to my knowledge
I'm not the grandmaster of Xeno Goku either. I'm gonna be quite frank. If you want that kind of shit, you go to Super Saiyan Ryu or Chuck or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their.
All right.
That's their thing. But I can answer some basic.
A bunch of things in the comments. I saw some things in the comments that were like versus battles is a joke because they don't have the Xeno Goku at infinite speed.
Well, like that's more like okay, so the reason people are making fun of that is because like the idea of someone being like multiversal plus but being light speed is like really goofy because it's like how do you destroy like a fifth dimensional like infinite realm and be light speed, you know? Like that's what people are kind of making fun of. Like so that people were just more so making fun of the idea and they're like like even if you don't like maybe you should have just kind of like push it a little bit just to put infinite speed, you know, because it's just like it just seems so weird, you know, like that's what people were saying. So
I get it. It's the fact that it's a bit incredulous. You can't be like a 2A and I get it.
It's like,
I understand.
Like is your blast? Your blast is gonna reach the end of the multiverse in like 8 eternities, you know? It's like oh well, okay, sure. Like seems weird. So.
I get that. Okay. I always did wonder about like blast speeds when it comes to that, and when it comes to destroying anything that's infinite in size, anything that's low TC or up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how would it like? Because clearly we can tell that it's not moving at infinite speeds for like characters like other than Goku, I can't really think of any low 2Cs that destroy like universes. Like obviously, I can think of low 2Cs that like made universes or reality warp them away or have statements, but I can't really think of any that actually blow them up besides Goku. But let's say Saitama was actually that instead of planetary, and all the fanboys are right about that.
He might be. We never know. He might be. Fuck it.
Well,
one day.
We never know.
Yeah. So.
If he like punched and with a mere shockwaves, he destroyed a universe on a including its time and space. I don't think I wouldn't put him at infinite speed for that, but I'm like, how would his shockwaves go that far without?
But like, here's the
Yeah.
thing. What if you said, "Oh yeah, Saitama can destroy an infinite universe, but he's like massively hypersonic or relativistic." It's like that's kind of weird. Like that seems funky, you know? Like that's what people
I get
are
it.
saying,
I mean,
so.
we have what's her name? Haruhi, who's blatantly universal
Yeah.
and has normal human speed
Yeah.
and normal human durability.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, obviously, if a character's, like, snaps their finger and a universe disappears, maybe it's different, but, like, you know, when they're shooting an energy blast and then it explodes, and then we know that these characters are usually relative to their explosions, especially in Dragon Ball, right? In Dragon Ball, characters are relative to their explosions. Then it's like, well, they probably should be a little bit quicker, you know? Like, you know, maybe they aren't normal human speed, you know? Like, shit like that, so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I saw. Oh, sorry. I did skim around in the video because I saw the Roshi thing. I saw the comments.
Well, can I clarify?
arguing.
Things I do on stream, sometimes they're exaggerated to have fun. All right, so not
Oh
everything.
no, I get
Okay.
it.
Okay.
My brother does country. His recently had a song called My Truck.
Yeah.
And if he did that in like what am I trying to say? If he did his character inside his videos don't match his actual
Sure.
persona. So yeah, I completely get it. Like if you're being like controversial for the sake of, you know, drawing in fans and all that, I understand that's not someone's actual personality.
Yep. Did you have any other questions about the video, or?
Other than the Xeno and the Xeno verse, not Xeno the character, and the Roshi things, were there any other? Because again, I skipped around. Those are the two major things that I saw. Were there any other things about our tiering of versus battles that you talked about?
The movie section is bad. The movie section is very bad.
I will completely agree with you there.
Yeah,
it's a different continuity.
we
Like I've
don't
said
agree with
this
that,
countless times.
Naruto's just funky. Like with Naruto, it's kind of like just put the fucking like Akatsuki members on Bijou level. Like that's literally all you have to do, and people would be happy. Like I don't know. People are kind of weirded out by the whole like, well, Kagi is a moon level, but she can amp herself to large star level with a little bit of chakra from humans. It's like, you know, maybe think about that more. You know, like it's kind of funky as well. And that's generally my problems with it. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the movie stuff, the main problem is the fact that it's a different continuity, correct? Or is there anything else?
It's stated to be in its own dimension, and we don't even know how the movies actually line up to each other, or if the movies are in the same dimension as each other. So that's another problem we have. So with the movies, you just kind of have to be like, oh, this is Broly movie, this is whatever movie. You kind of have to make a separate section for each of the movies. So if you were to be like, oh, here's movie Goku, you would make 13 different Gokus or whatever, and then each one would have its own level for each movie. It's kind of how it would go. So, yeah.
So, for example, I know you agree, you say that Broly is multi-galaxy to universal. I'm not touching that with a 50-foot pole. I'm not debating you on that one.
Multi-galaxy, sure. But Universal is debatable, but yeah, multi-galaxy. Yeah.
All right. There's how many movies after that? I know there's Wrath of the Dragon. Yeah, let's go with Wrath of the Dragon because there's no good feats in that one.
Yeah, none.
Would you say that Broly Goku is stronger than Wrath of the Dragon Goku?
Broly Goku? Yes. Broly Goku is the strongest Goku.
All right.
It's actually pretty much confirmed that he's the strongest Goku. With Wrath of the Dragon, even though it has no feats, it's kind of implied that it's like the third strongest. So like you have the Broly Saga, then you have Fusion Reborn, and then you have Wrath of the Dragon, because the question was, you know, who's stronger, Janemba or Hyrudegarn? And then it's like, well, Janemba's stronger because they had to fuse against him. So it's kind of implied that, like, the Hyrudegarn and Janemba movies might not be too far apart, even if there is no feats. So there's just weird little shit like that you have to look into. The movies are very strange because they're not, like, normal. So, yeah.
So those are all the things you addressed in the video. Are there any other versus battles, things in general that you just want to bring up? I will answer any of your questions about those.
Bro, you scaled Dark Souls?
I am completely unaware of Dark Souls. I'm sorry about that.
All right. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Whoever wrote that section is I'm gonna give them the smoke. But, what else is there? You guys fixed Kingdom Hearts. You guys fixed God of War. I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
All right.
I have a profile on there, by the way. Hold on.
All right. I completely the God of War stuff. I'm like, all right. I used to complain about that, but because you know my boy Cap, because he set this up, he helped me get Zelda to how it is now. So because I owe him, I'm not going to say anything about God of War. Same with DMC.
Bruh, God of War. There is this motherfucker named Cosmic. He wrote like a fucking 200-page Bible on why God of War is like universal. He's fucking insane. Hold on. This is my Versus Wiki account. Wait, add me real quick. I'll send it to you.
All right. Sorry, give it a second. My computer is like.
Yeah. No problem.
Not super.
God of War Outerversal. I've never heard that. Is there an Outerversal argument? I don't know if I've ever heard that one. That'd be funny. There probably is some weird bullshit.
I've seen people say that there were that they heard Outerversal arguments, but I've never seen them myself.
I've never seen them either, so I don't know. Yeah, if you add me, I can send it to you. But okay, there you go. This is my profile.
All right.
So the only thing I've done on there is I debated that Kakazu should probably be Bijou level, and then I was trying to get this guy to debate on Discord because he seemed pretty good. He won't fucking reply to me. So.
Okay. That does remind me. I know you're friends with Swag Kage. I remember seeing his video on Versus Battle.
Did he make one?
Since a long time ago, like I think it was 3 years ago.
Well, me and Swag have gotten a lot better at Naruto since 3 years ago, but yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know if he still agreed with if he still felt that way about how it was, and if we fixed our stuff by then.
Oh, one other thing on Naruto, by the way. Live Madara is stronger than Edo Madara. This needs to be addressed. Like, this is a real thing. Like, there's this.
Yeah, isn't it like confirmed that all Idos are weaker in terms of pure physicality?
But the problem is like, oh well, Kabuto says he was stronger. He's weak. Well, he's stronger as an Edo, but then Madara is like no, and then Hashirama's like, oh, he's getting even stronger now that he's alive or something. So like, I think you guys fixed that. Did you already fix that? I don't know.
And then
I hope so.
Didn't Kabuto also say he didn't know his true power either?
Yeah, actually, I think you guys might have fixed it already.
All right, good.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
So are you fine with the moon level Madara or moon small planet? I forget what he's at now.
Can we at least get small planet? Like, can we get small planet? That's like, come on, small planet, bro. Like the moon level thing. I don't know where did the moon level thing is so weird to me because like Naruto and Sasuke making a moon, they just kind of go and they just shits it out. Like there's no stress in making it, so like it was always weird to cap them at moon level for me. I don't know, like especially
I could make an argument for at least, but because of how the wiki works, it's going to I can only do at least.
Well, here's the thing, you know my account now, so when you guys start doing your revisions, all right. Maybe I can chime in.
I'm pretty sure Cap told you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Cap told you about how the forum move is very, very bad.
Yeah, so when you guys start doing your fucking revision, I can try to chime in if you want, but yeah. You guys just have to let me know when, and then I'll try to say something.
Okay.
And like, and I'm not sitting here like, hey, make Goku hyperversal or something. I'm just like, I'm just saying most people agree with this already, so it's kind of like. Yeah.
Like again, there will be some things we'll agree to disagree on. I'm very glad that you're easy to talk to.
Yeah. People exaggerate how hard it is to debate with me because they usually sit
there.
Oh
no, I completely agree.
Bro,
I saw you first.
I was like, people will sit there on a forum, be like, "Fuck you, Seth, I'll destroy you," like, and then they get into a call and they're like trying to like be aggressive, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have an aggressive conversation, so. I don't know. They always exaggerate for sure, but yeah.
Oh, I completely agree that it has been exaggerated.
Yeah.
I remember because I thought that way too at one point in time because I heard all the stories. Then I actually saw your stuff. I'm like, oh, this guy actually seems pretty chill. Like I could share a beer with him, and yeah, I'm talking to you now with no problem.
For sure. Well, if that's all of your problems with the video, I do have to go to the gym within the next 40 minutes. So I have to go, unfortunately.
Get those gains.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was nice talking to you.
Respond to my DM.